In this video, we're going to take a look at different ways to express solution concentration. When we look at solution concentration, we're looking at adding a solute, very often a solid, into a liquid or a solvent. And what we want to do is be able to express how many particles of solute there are per particles of solution. Now, in our last lesson, we looked at solubility curves, and the concentrations expressed in the solubility curves were grams of solute per 100 grams of water, which is a useful way to describe solutions, except that our solutions aren't necessarily going to be water, and it's a little limiting to always talk about the solution in terms of 100 grams of water. So these different ways to express solution concentration will give the chemist more flexibility. We're going to look at mass percent, volume percent, mass volume percent, and parts per million as ways of describing solution concentrations. In this specific video, we're going to look specifically at mass percent. In a mass percent concentration problem, we're looking at the mass of the solute we have relative to the mass of the entire solution. And to make it a percentage, we multiply by 100. Here's a typical problem. What is the mass percent of ethanol in a solution made by dissolving 5.3 grams of ethanol in 85 grams of water? Here's a solution of ethanol shield that I think is used as a fuel enhancer. So to solve this problem, what we're going to do is this. We're going to take the mass of the solute, which is the ethanol, 5.3 grams of ethanol, and we're going to divide it by the mass of the solution, which consists of the ethanol and the water together. So we'll take 5.3 grams plus 85 grams. That's the solute and the solvent together. And we'll multiply that by 100. So we'll take 5.3 divided by the sum of 5.3 and 85.0, multiply by 100, and we end up getting 5.9%. Now, just to write the percentage doesn't really tell the reader whether it's a mass percent, a mass volume percent, etc. So we're going to use some very specific units. Next to the percent symbol, we use a little m/m, and then we write ethanol next to it. That's the solute. Here's the answer written out fairly neatly. Here's another typical problem you'll see in terms of dealing with mass. This says calculate the mass of nickel 2 sulfate contained in 200 grams of a 6% by mass aqueous solution. So here we're actually solving for the mass of the solute in this solution. To solve this problem, what you're going to do is start with the mass of the solution itself, which is 200 grams. And we'll multiply that, and let's just put the word solution here so we remember what that is the mass of. You'll multiply that by this 6%, but written as a fraction. So recognize that 6% means 6 parts out of 100, or 6 grams of the solute, which is nickel sulfate, per 100 grams of the solution. So you can see why this would be useful, because now the grams of solution are going to divide out as we take the 200 grams and divide it by the 100. And then you simply do the math here. So we'll take 200 grams times 6 divided by 100. And that will leave us with our answer of 12.0 grams of the solute, which in this case is nickel 2 sulfate. And that's it.